Cymbidiums are one of the most popular and easy orchids you can grow. They get by on neglect and will multiply and put out leaves in all kinds of different conditions. But getting them to bloom is another story. In this video, I'm going to take you through everything you need to know to not only grow these beautiful Asian orchids in any climate, but also how to get them to bloom. That's the tricky part. Hey, I'm Brian with Next Level Gardening. If you're looking to join an online gardening community that offers tips, tricks, and support to help take your gardening to the next level, you're in the right place. Get started now by clicking subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss anything. Now let's get growing. Now is a really great time to start looking for Cymbidiums at garden centers because January happens to be in the middle of their bloom season, which is October through May. So you can see what they actually look like before buying and bringing them home. Now I have two right here that are not yet blooming. There are two bloom spikes, one on each. Cymbidiums are native to cool tropical jungles. That's why they do so well here in Southern California outdoors, and that's why we love them. We don't have to worry about them in the wintertime. They're hardy in zones 10 and 11. If you do live in a cold climate though, you can easily bring them indoors in the winter, no problem. Let me know in the comments if you've ever grown Cymbidium orchids before and what your experience was. Let's start now in January and take you through what you need to do in the next 365 days to care for your Cymbidium. If your Cymbidiums have unopened buds like these, or have a bloom spike forming, you want to feed with a high bloom orchid formula, something with a high middle and last number. This higher percentage of phosphorus and potassium are going to encourage the bloom spikes in early spring. You can use a slow release fertilizer spike or liquid fertilizer every couple of weeks. I use this brand. I'll leave a link in the description. The numbers on the bloom formula are 6, 30, 30. So you mix this with water and then water with it. You'll most likely want to stake the bloom spikes so they don't fall over or snap off in the wind. If they're out in the open, rain can flatten them and get the blooms all muddy. If you have them in the house, you'll want a saucer under them to catch the water that runs through, but you don't want the pot sitting in the water because Cymbidiums like excellent drainage. We'll get into that in a minute. So fill up the saucer with gravel so the water can drain below the gravel or into the gravel, and the pot will be held above that water level. Cymbidiums can bloom all the way till May. Then in May, that is where the bloom season ends and the growth season begins. So we switch gears in May to get ready for summer. The care you give them throughout the summer will dictate the size and quantity of the blooms in the fall and winter. May is also the time to repot a Cymbidium that has outgrown its container. Let me know in the comments if you'd like me to do a video in May repotting one of these because I think they actually need it. So to get ready for summer, you want to cut off all the spent bloom spikes, cut them off all the way down to the base. At this time in May, this is when we're going to be switching to a fertilizer for growth rather than bloom. And this is where you're going to want a high first number, which is nitrogen. Now these two come together, so it makes it really easy. Starting in May and through the summer months, you're going to want to protect your Cymbidium from the strong, hot sun of the summer. And so you're going to want to put them in filtered light, maybe under an open tree, something where it's going to get about 50% shade. You can use 50% shade cloth. And there's an easy way to know if your Cymbidium is getting the right amount of light. If they're a bright, healthy looking green, there's too much shade. You actually want the leaves to be a kind of unhealthier, yellowy green color. Go figure. You especially want light to hit the pseudobulbs. If the plant is super crowded, you want to consider dividing the clump in May so the sun can reach all of them. Now that takes us through the summer from May till September. In September, you want to switch from the high nitrogen fertilizer for growth back to the fertilizer for bloom. Make sure to keep them well watered through the summer, but not sitting in water. They need to drain completely. And just remember, you are more likely to kill a Cymbidium from overwatering than underwatering. So if you have to stop and wonder, is it too soon to water? It probably is. We also need to now switch to new lighting for bloom development in the fall and winter. So in the summer, they're under the 50% shade, and in the fall and winter, they need more sun. Now here, outdoors, they can be in full sun throughout the winter. But if you live in a cold climate and are bringing them indoors for winter protection, because they can't take any frost, you want to make sure they're going to be in a very sunny window. So that brings us back to the bloom season, and we've already talked about what to do then. Throughout the year, you're going to want to make sure you cut off any dead or diseased leaves. They need as many green leaves as possible, but an abundance of dead leaves cuts down on the sunlight hitting the pseudobulbs. Following these steps, and remember the bloom season and the growth season, you're going to have a great show each winter and spring. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did learn something, please consider subscribing, give us a thumbs up, and hit the bell for any future updates. And it would be great if you could share this video with any gardening friends. I'll see you guys next time.